picture. You can see the top of the curtain. It's a bit better. I have to confess, I had this voice in my head. You know, we're going live a couple of minutes early, aren't we? And I had this voice in my head. I've got a delay between what I'm doing and what I can see on my computer. I'm watching my own live on my computer. I'm watching it on my phone, which is like live, and I can see it on my computer because I want to be able to see the chat. But there's like a 5-second delay, quite a long delay, so it's really bad. Anyway, welcome everyone. Hi Jay Carlos, how are you? I'm very well. And I was going to say, I had this voice in my mind said, you've got your parachute strapped on. Now all you've got to do is is jump out of the plane. It can't be that bad, can it? A live stream. Faraway Star. Hi Robert and everyone. Hi Faraway Star. Well, look, let's do the first reading, which is a reading for the live stream. What's it going to be like? I know there's only a couple of people online so far, but this is how I always start. And then for the people who tune in later, we can go back and show them what the reading was, can't we? Hi Elle Phillips. Hi Lady Booksmith. Lovely to see you all. We're doing the initial reading. For the live stream. Okay, so please can we have 3 cards for the live stream? Me, you, and the live stream. Oh, okay. Me, you, and the live stream. That's what we got. I am the Page of Pentacles. You guys are the Ten of Cups. And the live stream is the reversed Seven of Batons. So I guess I'm taking it seriously. You're in a good mood. And the result is there's no need to be defensive. We can just enjoy it. Good. So I can also see everything over here. It's a bit clearer. Saskia's here. Nicholas is here. Al Phillips says, we're awake for this one. Yes, we're all awake. I'm wide awake. And next week, I'm going to do a Sunday morning early special. I have to tell you guys that I did the early one that I did, which I kind of intended for the Eastern Hemisphere, round to sort of all the way around to the Pacific and California. For some reason, it wasn't that loads of people tuned in while I was doing the live stream, but when I released it as a video, because it gets automatically released as a video, it was massively viewed. Like, I normally get about 200-300 views for the video of the live stream, and it's normally Sunday evening in London or Berlin. And then the first time I did one early Sunday morning, catering for the Eastern Hemisphere, I got about 600 views. And the second time I did it, I got about 1,800, nearly 2,000 views. So I don't know what it is. I think it's got something to do with when the video gets released. And as far as I can tell, when you do a live stream, you can't choose when the video is released. It's just, you finish the live stream and it kind of automatically goes into, the sausage factory, and it comes out an hour later or something as a fully formed video, and YouTube release it for you. So, I enjoy it anyway, and it's good for the channel for me to get viewed. So it looks like I'm doomed to carry on, alternating between the earlier live streams and the later live streams. So one for each hemisphere. Daniela says, hello everybody. Hello Robert. Hello Daniela. Okay, so today we're using my trusty system. I will do up to 3 actual readings, and the rest will be Q&A, or kind of like one card, morning card readings. So if anyone wants a reading, there'll be one sort of in about 10 minutes, and one at 1/2 the hour, and at 1:45 the hour. So just let me know and I'll take bookings, and hopefully it'll go smoothly. I'm also wearing something new today. This was sent by Meg. It's absolutely fabulous. It's a white pendant. Daniela says, I would like a reading, please. Okay, Daniela, well, I will do your reading at 6:15 GMT. When we've kind of settled down and said hello. And then there'll be one at 6:30 and one at 6:45 for anyone else. I hope everyone's well. I just watched another YouTuber make a video, and it wasn't a live stream, but it was a video, and he was answering Q&As from his subscribers. And I thought that was rather nice. So if anyone has a question that you would like me to answer, later, like any kind of demonstration or anything you'd like me to kind of like get together, like a demonstration of a particular reading, or you'd like to know about a particular deck, or any particular information that I might be able to do outside of this live stream, feel free to say. Of course, today is Q&A, so I can also answer your questions now. Faraway Star. The print on your dressing gown reminds me of the back of the Aquarian tarot cards. That's true, isn't it? It's kind of a kimono that was given to me by a friend. I'm having a Japanese moment, actually. My partner and I have been watching this Japanese reality sort of dating show on Netflix. It's called The Boyfriend, and it's 8 kind of fairly cute Japanese lads in a house, a bit like Big Brother, but it's not as nasty as Big Brother. It's very, very gentle, and it's very polite and very respectful. And it's sort of eight young gay guys, and they're all looking for the perfect boyfriend. And they're made to go out and run a coffee truck during their days, and in the evenings they sort of cook and things. And it's voyeuristic. It's like Big Brother, but it's amazing how well they behave compared to European gay guys, and how nice they are to each other, and how careful and how respectful. It's really refreshing. So I'm totally having a Japanese moment. Josh S. Can I ask you, I'm going to read it over here. Can I ask you why you moved to Berlin from the UK, and how do you like it? Well, my first experience of Berlin was when I was in my 20s, and it made a deep impression on me, and I found it very liberating. I'm afraid to confess that was in the 80s, and 80s London was, as you probably know, it was a bit hard and a bit money grabbing and a bit hysterical. I mean, like the whole world is now. But I came out of university and I lived in London, but instead of diving into life in 80s London, I quite by chance went and visited Berlin and stayed there for a year. And Berlin wasn't in the 80s. It was kind of like it had a wall around it, and it was this strange abandoned, mostly empty city. And it was partly living in the 70s and partly living in the 50s and partly living in the 1920s. And so it was a complete escape from 80s London. And then I later went back to 80s London, but I didn't go from university straight into 80s London, as a lot of my friends did. And I've had a very different life because of that. I've never really been on the career ladder. I've never been really on the yuppie ladder. I think Berlin is a very, I think freedom, mental freedom is very important in Berlin. And I really value that. There's something in the air here. And I came back to Berlin, in my 50s, having tried to live in London and done the career thing and the ambitious thing. And then I thought, I really need to go back to Berlin where there's a bit more air to breathe, a bit more space, a bit more room to run around. I like Germans. I think certainly the English don't have a very deep understanding of the Germans. I think the Germans are sort of like a nice version of the English. And I have German ancestry as well, so. German's a bit difficult to learn, I warn you, if you're thinking of it, but Berlin's a really interesting town. Brandenburg, where Berlin is not the most interesting part of Germany. I think West Germany is nicer, around Cologne and stuff, but Berlin is a great city. Oh, Nicholas, you're going to the tarot exhibition. I was in London and I missed it. I think it started just on my last day in London, and I really didn't have time. Rob says hello, hello. Lady Booksmith, I visited Berlin about 10 years ago. Loved it. Light says evening, Robert. Evening. Yeah, I highly recommend Berlin for a visit. It's just, I have a nephew who likes Berlin very much. And he actually likes the street where we live, which I won't tell you where it is because that's indiscreet. But he finds Berlin very friendly. And I think it's quite friendly to tourists. I think you can go into bars and cafes and be treated quite well. I think it's just, London's nice and English people are nice and helpful and friendly, but I do think there's more pressure in London. And I think the less pressurized feeling in Berlin allows people to have a bit more time to make friends and to say hi to strangers and so forth. So yes, visit Berlin. Visit Berlin. I'm the Berlin tourist agency. Good evening, Peak Dam Tarot. Okay, I think, Daniela, we could do your reading. I think everyone's here. And it would get us going, wouldn't it? It would get me concentrating. Daniela, could you tell me if you have a question? Please, what is your question? I need you to have a question. Daniel, I would love to know about love. Okay. Could you tell me a little bit more context? That's very general. What would you love to know? And it would help if you told me, if you don't mind, I know this is public, but just tell me roughly where you're at. And again, try to make it a little bit more specific. Makes my life a bit easier. Otherwise, there are spreads that we can do. I'm single, okay. So, am I right in taking it that you're looking for love, and that's all we can say at the moment? That's the basic question, yeah. Had a long relationship and it's over. Okay. Okay, that's an important bit of information. Let's do 7 cards then, okay? Because that'll maybe put it in context of past, present, and future. Okay, Daniela, I'm shuffling. Daniela, this is a reading for Daniela, a love reading. Please give us love reading for Daniela. It looks okay. But I understand the sort of the poignancy of where you're at the moment. Let me show you the cards as they've come up, and then I'll talk about them one by one. So this is, we have like past influences and circumstances, present ones and future ones. Okay, environment. You can see what these are, can't you? That's the reversed High Priestess. Obstacles is the 9 of Cups, and where it's going is the 6 of Batons. So if you know anything about tarot, you probably know that that's a very good card to get in that position. So there we have, okay, 4 of Batons, Lovers, 2 of Pentacles, 8 of Batons down there, and that's the advice card. So I'll turn this around so that I can deal with it. Okay, so Daniela, it does seem, you know, past circumstances, it does seem that there was much that was good about that relationship, but let's not dwell on that too much. It might be that you have quite high expectations, which is not a bad thing, of your future relationship. And I think future circumstances, the 2 of Batons, there's going to be no lack of choice. In other words, you might have more choice. My mother used to say embarras de richesse. So you've got your hands full of good things. So you may even have to juggle more than one person who wants to get involved with you, which is fine. Again, and in fact, I feel that might be kind of like quite close or quite present. So let me see. You don't know where you are. Let me keep talking, because this seems to add up to something, which is that environment, obstacles. You've got a reversed High Priestess in your environment. I get the feeling that you might have a love possibility that is present in your life, and it's not really hidden, and it might even have that the person might even have made some sort of indication, but you haven't noticed. So you've got, the way this is going is 6 of Batons, which is good news and which is success. I don't see you having a problem with being single for a long time. Obstacles, 9 of Cups, don't get too I just spit it out. Don't enjoy the lovely sensation of being on your own too much, because you might miss an opportunity. And And there is something, there is that you've got an 8 of battens in the advice position, which is something about quick action. And there's something about here in the present, you've got the Lovers card, which I interpret as a choice. Daniela, if we were in the room together, we would like have more feedback, and we carry on and we do further spreads. If those cards are surprising to you or mysterious to you, all I can say is they're very fortunate cards. They're very auspicious cards, and you had a long relationship and it's over, which is clearly going to make you feel a certain amount of sadness. And you say you don't know where you are, but I think there's good things around for you at the moment. It might be that you just can't see them. So keep your eyes open, keep looking around you, and be open to what people might be trying to communicate to you. That's what I'm going to say for now. Good luck, Daniela. Good luck. We'll take a deep breath. And we'll clear the cards away. That was our first reading. There's 3 possible readings, so there's 2 more. So if anyone else wants a reading with more than 1 card, please tell me now and I will book you in. But I see there are some other questions have come up. Daniela says, I understood the message. Thank you, Robert. I'm pleased that you did. It seemed to be quite clear to me, even though I didn't really understand the message. This is the interesting thing about reading people's tarot cards, partly because you're not here in the room with me and you can't talk me through it. But I did see the message. And so all I could really do was pass it on to you without trying to, just mangle it up too much. Interesting. It's an interesting business. Good luck. Let me see what's in the chat. Another question, if you have time. For me, Josh S. says, for me, tarot was a gateway drug for the occult and magic. Do you ever do magic? And if so, is tarot part of it? Josh, I don't ever do magic, really. My partner gave me a little magic thing for Christmas or birthday, probably 2 years ago. It's something that it's herbs that I'm meant to burn on a bit of charcoal with a candle, and I'm meant to write down my wish, and I'm meant to do some sort of ceremony with this thing. And this thing has been sitting on my sort of bedside chest of drawers for a couple of years, and I haven't used it yet. I think I'm not naturally a magically oriented person, even though I think that life is magical, and I think that I believe in living magically, but that's a slightly different use of the word. I read the Seth books, which are about, in a sense, living magically. Might be past life. I'm just not really interested. And recently, like in the last, about 3 months ago, I really concentrated on reading up about Aleister Crowley, because I have great difficulty with the Book of Thoth. And I had criticized the Book of Thoth, and I got told off by a Crowley fan. So I thought, okay, I have to stop talking in ignorance. And so I read 2 Crowley biographies. And at the end of it, I kind of knew more about him and I respected him much, much more. But at no stage, and obviously it's very complex what Crowley is doing. It's very interesting and it's maybe very powerful. And also very influential on thought, general thought in our culture. But at no stage was I drawn to get involved in magic. I think it's just one of those things which is beyond explanation. It's like, for example, I can't sing hymns. I won't sing hymns. I won't and can't sing any kind of religious or spiritual music. Even if I'm at a yoga festival and people start chanting, or even if people are going, Hare Krishna, I will not join in. And I think that must be past life as well. If I sing mantras or hymns or anything like that, I want to faint. I want to pass out. So I think there are certain completely irrational things. No, I don't use tarot for magic at all. Although I do think that tarot is magical in how it works. But I guess with magic, one is sort of using one's willpower and putting one's willpower into the world, isn't that right? And aligning oneself with certain forces and certain stuff to make things happen. And I've still got on my bedside chest of drawers, I've still got this little magic kit. And I think when I finish writing my novel, I'm going to do the magic ceremony and say, give me a bloody publisher, universe, because that is a very strong desire I have. But mostly I don't do magic ceremonies and magic things. There is incidentally one magical tarot spread that I did, which comes from Marcus Katz, who does have a magical angle. And Elle Phillips. Yes, Elle Phillips, you are one step ahead of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Elle Phillips is very quick off the mark. There is a thing you can do. And I've made a video about it, and I think my video is called How to Solve Any Problem in 7 Days. Clickbait title. And you have the problem symbolized by one card and the solution symbolized by another card. And you have the problem card and the solution card like 7 cards away from each other. So you have 7 or 6 face down cards as the 7 stepping stones for the week. And in the course of the week, you have this layout on your windowsill, and the solution card moves 1 day closer to the problem card per 1 position closer per day. And on the last day, the solution card moves over and sits on top of the problem card. And that is meant to trick your mind into basically demanding an answer of the universe, from the universe. And so on the 7th day, you will get your answer. However, powerful or less powerful it may be. And I have done that. But I see that more as a meditation than as an actual magical process. Ladies and gentlemen. I'm also wearing a t-shirt from Esprit. They had a branch of Esprit in Berlin. It was selling its stuff at a 70% discount, and me and my friends went a bit mad. Kept running back in, 70% discount. That's a lot, 70% discount. And Esprit is quite a good quality shop. So suddenly all this stuff that I normally couldn't afford, suddenly it was within my range. So I bought a couple of t-shirts. Elle Phillips, it works. It does work, it can work, yeah. Daniela says, what is your novel about? My novel, which I originally wrote in German, quite bad German, as a writing exercise, but then I got into it. in my late 40s and early 50s, I was involved in a gay men's personal development group called Gay Love Spirit, and they kind of did sort of modern tantra, NLP, all these interesting techniques for mind expansion. And anyway, it was helping gay men to lead better, more integrated, more sane lives and integrate the sexuality with spirituality. They're called Gay Love Spirit. So there was sexuality and spirituality in the same worldview. Very unusual and very good. That's partly why I moved to Berlin. And I mean, the workshops were really life changing. I did a 2-year course with them. But at the same time, I'm a comedy writer, and at the same time, I knew that there was a comic aspect to what we were doing, and I knew there is a comic aspect to the whole concept of personal development. You know, the idea of doing stuff so that you become a better person or that you become wiser. And clearly, you know, some of the things you do are quite strange, especially in a group like Gay Love Spirit. And so in my novel, the guy who's loosely based on me does one of these courses, a long 2-year course with a group like Gay Love Spirit, and it drives him a bit mad. And he embarks on a sort of obsessive quest, which I can't really tell you about, but it is a bit mad. And it puts him in the end, it puts him in a certain amount of danger. So it turns into a sort of comic nightmare. Yeah, sound good? But I'm really trying. I haven't published a novel since the 90s, and I haven't got an agent anymore. So I know it's quite difficult. And if my novel's going to have any chance of being published, it's got to be really, really, really well written. So I'm being very careful. In the old days, in the 90s, I used to write a novel in 2 or 3 weeks because I was young and I didn't care. I just thought everything I did was obviously brilliant. But now I realize that you need to, if you want to compete, you know, these days, you have to be pretty good. Oh, thank you, 999 Show. Well, Daniela, I think, fingers crossed, it'll be published in English. It'll probably be published in English and German. Yeah, The Man Who Knew Too Little was based on a novella that I wrote, which was never published, except in Germany, weirdly enough. I have this karmic connection with Germany. And it was translated into German by a proper translator. And it came out in 97 or 98, I think. But it wasn't really a novel. It was very, very short. It was more of a story for a movie. Yeah. But That Man Who Knew Too Little was a funny experience for me because I was the screenwriter for the first part of the process, and then they replaced me with someone else. And so sort of the second half of the film is not really my concept, and especially the end. I don't like the end at all. I think the end is embarrassingly bad. Faraway Star, are you also writing a tarot book? Yes, I am, and my apologies. I've been writing it for such a long time and talking about it for such a long time. It's just about, I'm writing it with a co-writer, Michael Atavar, and we're trying to work out the balance between my contribution and his contribution. It was going to be 50-50, and now it looks like the book will be mostly me, maybe with a chapter by him, or it may be completely me. It may be that he just, for personal reasons, would like to take his material, and I don't know whether he'll publish it somewhere else. It's not that we've fallen out or anything, but it's just the book was always quite an unusual concept. You know, 2 authors writing about tarot from different perspectives, and it's great because it meant that I wrote my half of the book, but we're not quite sure on the final, form of the book. I have to see Man Who Knew Too Little. Didn't know that Robert was involved. Yes, I wrote the original book and I co-wrote the screenplay. And I met Bill Murray. He was very nice. He was so nice, in fact. I visited the set. And you know, when people make movies, they don't really care about the person who wrote the novel, the source novel, you know, because they're just obsessed with their making their movie and you know, going to their parties. So I visited the set. I was invited to the set by the director, and I was sitting in the corner, like all mousy and forgotten, while they made their glamorous movie with Bill Murray. And this story, it moves me to this very day. Bill Murray said, "Excuse me, I think we should stop the filming. Robert is here." That's so nice. That's one of the nicest things that's ever happened to me. You know, there was that feeling of having been forgotten a bit. But Bill Murray's a really nice person. He's a real gentleman. And it wasn't the director who said that, it was Bill Murray. And he said, "Stop the filming. Robert's here. And if Robert hadn't written the original novel, we wouldn't be making this movie. So could we please give Robert a round of applause?" And that was very nice. And it was one of the nicest, it's one of my nicest memories to be acknowledged, you know. Yeah, I like Bill Murray very much because of that. I mean, it's difficult to get on with Hollywood people. It's difficult to get on in Los Angeles, you know, if you're a European. It's a bit strange, and at least I found it a bit strange, and it wasn't really me. But you know, there's a nice person for you, a very, very nice person. The director's also a nice person, but I think he was a bit distracted that day. And anyway, that's how I experienced the story. Yeah. Wow, congratulations. Yes. I have a picture of me and Bill Murray, which I shall show you one day. Josh. Do you follow any other tarot YouTubers? Also, have you ever been approached by tarot creators, publishers to promote, review their decks? I sometimes watch Lisa Papez. I think she's interesting. I have watched Hermit's Cave. There's a lovely lady. I don't want to get her name wrong. Masha, I think. And we follow each other and we say hi to each other. She sometimes comes to the live streams. Oh, and there's Empress Song, another lovely lady who has her own channel. And she was the person who, about 2 years ago, gave me the confidence to really work on this channel and to try to get to the level of monetizing, you know, and to try to break through that barrier. And she said some very nice things about me, and she put me in a collection of her favorite tarot tubers. And I got a little boost from that. And I was so encouraged by that I thought, okay, I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to work harder, and I'm going to make this channel, I'm going to get this channel off the ground. So she's called Empress Song. So yeah. I don't get approached by tarot creators and publishers to promote or review their decks. Not really. Our flatmate Jacopo, who's actually now got his own flat, he's moved out. He created a deck, and I did review that. I gave a nice long interview with him, and his deck's really good. And actually, a nice lady sent me her tarot deck just the other day, lady from America. But I'm not really talking about that, and I'm not really reviewing it because she's asked me, you know, not to review it because it's not ready yet. She just wanted some feedback, and so yeah. But I don't. No, I'm not approached by publishers. I don't think I'm a big enough channel yet. So any deck that I review, I have bought, or I got it like from the, you know, from the pile of what's the word, you know, chewed up old display decks at Watkins, or sometimes someone gives me something. But most of the decks I've bought, I reckon it was kind of like an investment in my channel. And occasionally if I buy a deck and I really know I'm never going to use it, I will sell it on, I'll review it and I'll sell it on eBay. But I like to have a collection because then I can do a video about like queer tarots. I can do a video about hybrid tarots. I can do a video about kitsch tarots. I'm doing a video about kitsch tarots at the moment, so that'll come out soon. Masha. Masha's got a live one this evening. I didn't know that Masha and I went head to head. Okay. But anyway, maybe we don't. I mean, I don't do every week. I know that Hermit's Cave does Saturdays, and I will never go out on a Saturday evening again because everyone's watching Hermit's Cave. Is there any deck that you really want to get hold of? Yes. Yes, there is. There's a couple. I think I actually made a list of them on one of my videos, which was like Robert's birthday wish list. There's a Japanese recoloring of the Rider-Waite-Smith, which is insane, and it's got a fairly. The name of it is not very Japanese. It's got pink skies and things, and some of the line work has been slightly altered, but it's very, very near Rider-Waite-Smith. But the colors are very different and they're fantastic, and it hasn't been re-released, and you can only get the originals, and it costs I don't know, between $500 and $1,000 or whatever. It's I don't know, maybe around $5,000. I think it's not cheap. But I can't remember the name because why would I remember the name? Because I'm never going to buy it. I love, incidentally, the Albano Waite tarot. I think that the current re-release of it on US Game System is very bad. It's very muddy. It is not a good reproduction. And I was very lucky to get myself an original Albano Waite, but they were minis. They were little tiny. They were tiny minis. And they're very beautiful. But what I would love to get, maybe when I have a hit movie or something, would be an original Albano Waite, because I think it is a very beautiful deck. But with the current reissue, you just can't see it. It's just inky and smudgy and sloshy. Okay, 9 show. Bye. Have a nice day. L. Phillips says Toadstool Tower and Hermit's Cave are back-to-back on Saturdays. Hermit's Cave does a lot of live streams, doesn't he? He's really fleißig, as the Germans say. He's hardworking, and the amount of tarot decks he reviews is frightening. It's like, what is it? Does he talk about like 200 tarot decks coming out per year, or is it 200 per month? I don't know. But I think now that we have self-publishing and AI and so forth, there are so many tarot decks coming out. It is overwhelming. And I think for me, I think I am interested in sort of pre-AI decks. It's almost like I'm losing interest in new tarot decks because the market is absolutely flooded. You know, you can just click on your computer and design one in 10 seconds. And I quite like working with AI for certain things, but it does mean it's a different world. And if the market is flooded, then the market is flooded. And that's the way things go. L. Phillips, he reviews everything. He's a hard-working reviewing man. He is. Well, we are past the halfway mark. Is there anyone there who wanted a reading? We're having a marvelous chat. but I am theoretically available. Too many decks and a lot of rubbish. I agree. And I also think the interesting thing is that, I really think that AI decks are tumbling out. And I find it very strange because when you take the human element out of it, you have decks which have these strange mistakes in them. You have a deck which is Rider-Waite-Smith's system, and you're looking through the cards, very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. And then you come across a card which doesn't really have anything to do with the RWS template at all. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I don't really believe a human being would have strayed so far, Anyway, Larch. Can I have a reading, Robert? Yes, Larch, you can. What is your question? Let's take a deep breath and stop chatting. We're in slow mode, so you have to pause 15 seconds between each message. But Larch, when you are able to send in another message, could you tell me what the question is? And I'll start shuffling for you. This is for Larch. How I should direct myself this year. Larch, I'm going to be strict, and I'm going to say, tell me more. If you can tell me more, please tell me more. Make the question more specific. If you really can't, then if you're really feeling you have no idea how to direct yourself this year, then we can work with that. Okay. Last year I had a plan, this year none. Okay, so would you say that you're really grasping for a plan and grasping for direction? Direct myself this year. I think I know how I would do this. I just need to know whether it's 5 cards or 3 cards. It's 5 cards. Yes, okay. Okay, Larch, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to look for the Chariot, okay? You know what the Chariot looks like? We're going to use the Aquarian deck here. So that's what the Chariot looks like. This Chariot, you said, how should I direct myself this year? So this Chariot is your directedness, your direction, your plan for directing yourself. We're going to shuffle the deck, and then we're going to look for it, and we're going to see the context. We're going to look at the cards around it. So we're saying, where is direction? And symbolically, we're going to say, in the deck, where is this Chariot? Because this Chariot symbols direction for Larch. Okay, so where is direction for Larch? Thank you. We're going to do 5 cards. Okay, so here I am looking through the deck for you. Until I find the Chariot. Okay. So the Chariot is there in the middle of these 5 cards. And I'm going to put these down on the table. I'm going to use the yin-yang rule to decide which way up this reading is. Okay, we have 2 reverse cards. that's fine. So the position of the Chariot is going to have some indication on how you can find direction. Okay, so we've got Chariot here. There was the Five of Cups, and there was the Knight of Pentacles. And further out we have Knight of Swords, reversed Five of Batons. So we've got two Knights, two Fives. Okay, Larch, if you were here, I would know whether you were a lady or a gentleman. Would you want to come out about who you are, or if you, I mean, it's public, you don't have to say anything you don't want to say, but it would maybe just give me a feeling for the kind of energies we might be talking about here. It seems, okay, so last year I had a plan, this year none. Okay, let's start. I'm a lady, well, that's a stretch, I'm a woman. I use those words, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm so terrified of the whole topic of gender these days that I become sort of over polite about it. You're a woman, okay. Well, there are gentlemen in this reading, or at least male energies, but it does look like there was a disappointment, and it feels like maybe you're getting over last year. You had a plan last year, and then you don't have a plan this year. So this card suggests to me that something happened with your plan last year. I mean, unless you found complete happiness and fulfillment, it feels like the plan wasn't entirely successful. And it feels like you've got these knight figures, and they're kind of, I mean, if you're here in the center, you've got these two knights, and they're sort of looking, they're not looking towards you. I mean, they may be looking at the horizon in a sort of helpful way. But I get the feeling that there's something less than ideal about them. Okay, I'll stick my neck out here. I think it's about who your plan involves, whether it's working together or being, or just being together. And all I can see here is the difference between being / working with one of these knights and being / working with the other one. Okay, so I think there was a disappointment, and you might have been let down by someone. On the other hand, another knight here is associated with a reversed Five of Batons. Now, Five of Batons is struggle. Reversed Five of Batons, in my way of reading tarot, is a lack of struggle or an end of struggle. Okay, so that feels like support. The Knight of Pentacles, anyway, is a supportive character. The Knight of Swords is sometimes a disruptive character. So I think it's about choosing who you associate with. And I think that's all I can say. That's all I can see in those cards. And what I would say is that I hope that is in some way stimulating to your mind or to your imagination or to your feelings about the future. I'm going to take a deep breath. Gosh, we're coming up to 7 o'clock GMT. Larch, that was your reading. Good luck with the year. I think it could be an interesting year, actually. I'm glad that makes sense. Oh, Saskia says, I think you have great intuition. That's nice. You may know, guys, that I have my morning cards that I made myself. And here they are. And each one has a quality, being in the right place, laughter, lucky. That some are adjectives, some are nouns. And there are about 60 of them. I just made the whole deck myself. There's no instructions. I just made it up myself. And every 2 days I pick one card. And this morning the card I picked was intuitive, which I was very pleased with because I knew I was going to be doing one of these live streams. So thank you, Saskia. That's the quality I'm working with today, intuitive. And the nice thing about this deck is even if it doesn't predict what's going to happen to you during the day, it gives you a positive concept to hang on to during the day. So if there are 60 of these cards here, well, it's probably going to take more than 60 days for you to get through the whole deck. And I don't do one at a time, I shuffle every time. So you see what I mean? It might take you 2 or 3 or 4 months or even a year before you've picked all these cards. But it means that you work through all these very positive qualities. Look, I've got immortal. It's a positive quality, isn't it? Capable. I've got serendipity there. So, thank you, Daniela. I guess at its best, tarot reading is, yes, that is what I believe tarot reading is. It's a kind of channeling. It's the only kind of channeling I would ever attempt to do. But guys, we're getting to the end of the reading, and my husband is rattling pots and pans in the kitchen in a very exciting way. So the question is, would anybody who's tuned in, and thanks everyone for tuning in, it's been a lovely live stream. Would anyone like me to draw a morning card for them? Or you could I also call them anti-depressive cards because they're all positive. And then you'd have a lovely little concept to think about. If you would like that, then just say yes, and just give me a number between 1 and 10. I would like to have a morning card, please. Pete Dan, would you give me a number between 1 and 10? And that could be our way of winding up. Sorry, you've got to wait 15 seconds, haven't you? 5. Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pete Dan. Powerful. I suggest that is your word for the next 2 days, 48 hours. Faraway Star says 6, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Friendship, Faraway Star. Friendship. L. Phillips. Thank you for the live, Robert. Thank you for joining me. Thank you all for joining me. It's been great. Pete Dam says, whoa, I love it. Anyone else? Anyone else wants a lovely thing for the next 2 days to cheer them up? Something to invite into your life, something to accept in your life. Josh S. says 3, please. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. That's nice. So feel beautiful. Be beautiful. Or maybe see beautiful things or beautiful people. Anyone else? Ooh. Oh, yes. Thank you, Saskia, and thanks for your lovely words. Bye. Daniela says 2, please. Daniela, you get content. Always a nice quality, content. Michelle says 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagination. Imagination for Michelle. Pung says 3. 1, 2, 3. Fun. How about that? Don't forget to have fun. Josh says love it, and Nicholas Miles says a fantastic live. Okay, we've got 3 more minutes. Is there anyone out there? You don't even have to say who you are. You could just type in a number and I will give you a positive adjective or noun. Number 9, moontide. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Guided. Moontide. Guided. That's a nice feeling, isn't it? Any more? Any more? Is there anyone anywhere in the world who wants one of my antidepressive cards? It's nice, isn't it? We all link up all over the world and we talk to each other. Angie says yes, 7. Okay, great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Angie, inner child. Very important. Inner child needs to be happy. Look after the inner child. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And guys, when we started off this live stream, I had a slight headache, but it always cures my headache because it stops me thinking about me, doesn't it? So that's lovely. Last call. Larch, thank you for lovely reading. Great live. Thank you, Larch. Thanks for being a part of it. Faraway Star says, great session as always, Robert. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye, Faraway Star. Thank you for a great live. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, the clock is chiming, 7 o'clock GMT. I think it's time to say adieu, adieu to you and you and you. Bye, Pung. Bye, Angie. Bye, Peak Dam. Have a great evening, Daniela. Bye. And I think next week it's going to be one of my early morning tarot sessions. So suitable for the Eastern Hemisphere, the Pacific, and maybe California, and the west of Canada. Bye. But I will schedule it. There will be a nice graphic with the schedule, so you'll know. Remember to subscribe, everyone, and remember to hit the notifications button so that you know if I'm going to do something like a live. Bye now. Bye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.